So my YouTube channel sucks, at least according to YouTube. I've been creating videos for about over 2 years now, consistently, every day, meaning every weekday, Monday through Friday, giving myself some, leeway to recuperate, think about video ideas that I'm going to make for the next week. Sometimes on occasion, make an extra video here and there if I'm feeling inspired and I'm outside and there's a whim or there's a feeling and that I feel like I must share with you. I may have some exceptions where I do 6 videos a week. Now, the intention behind that really was recognizing who I am and understanding that for me to be consistent, I have to do something pretty much almost every day. The idea of me doing a video once a week just really didn't fit right with me, right? But that's what is the norm and that's what's recommended. Now, first, let me say that when it comes to having a YouTube channel, making YouTube video, creating YouTube content, becoming a quote unquote influencer, a teacher, an educator, wanting to make a living off of YouTube, by no means am I trying to discourage you from doing that. But I think it's very important that you listen to what it is that I'm about to say, especially if you are somebody who is thinking about starting a YouTube channel, who is somebody who is thinking about starting a spiritual YouTube channel about manifestation, about positivity, about spirituality, and the various things underneath that umbrella. With me, I had to understand a few different elements of why I was doing my YouTube videos and making this channel and creating content. Now, yes, most certainly one of those intentions is to create income for me to not have to work a job and to essentially build a business where I can share my insight with people and make a difference in their lives while making it a full-time, means for me, right? Not something that I had to put on the back burner, or maybe I had to spread out based on the time, based on what's going on with my job, based on what's going on with my life. And so I knew that I had to commit to doing something on a consistent basis. And I knew that I had to go beyond just simply thinking that YouTube was going to be the thing that was going to make money for me, or even thinking that I was going to blow up from YouTube, that my content was going to be this eye-opening, insightful thing that was going to be seen and YouTube was going to push it out into the world and I was going to just instantly blow up, or even not even instantly, because instant was never and is never an approach of mine, but rather over the course of time, and thinking like, okay, here's a 2-year plan, here's a 5-year plan, here's a 10-year plan as to what I can potentially see for myself as a result of me being consistent and putting out information. Well, to be honest with you, what I am learning or seeing and experiencing is that there are times where I can put out a video and it'll get a couple of 100 views. A few of my videos got a couple of 1,000 views. Great, right? And you get this idea that, okay, now what's happening? Now YouTube is starting to acknowledge my stuff and YouTube is pushing my stuff out to the right people, right? The right audience of people who will receive, understand, and like my content, and thus push it out to more people. Because that's essentially what they say, how YouTube works. I am not going to tell you how YouTube works because I have no idea. Okay? I'm going to keep it real with you. Some people say make 1-2 videos a week, right? Some people say daily content. Some people say make as much content as you can. What I decided to do was what works for me. And something on a daily consistent basis worked for me, because then I know that this is what my life consists of. Every day, get up, think about my video, brainstorm, write out an outline, and just go and share, you see? And then every single day that follows, same thing, over and over and over again. Just like when I'm training for a marathon. All right, go run every day, go train every day, eat right every day. You know what I mean? That's how I like to function. because I know that I can be the most consistent that way. So when it comes to YouTube and what works for it, I couldn't tell you. I've done numerous things. I've changed up the format of my videos. I've worked on getting the best audio quality possible, right? Lighting. I've worked on backgrounds, right? I've worked on different kind of thumbnails, you see? And can I say anything really popped or worked or was significant enough? I cannot say that. Okay. Now, sometimes you get to a point of, well, maybe I just suck. But then I may have an idea that maybe I just suck. And then one of the people who are subscribed to me, some of the people who are constantly watching my videos, and if you are one of them, I thank you so much. You actually will send me a comment and said, yo, that was an amazing video. That was really insightful. I needed to hear that. I needed that. And that is the thing that keeps me going. And not in a way that I'm considering quitting, because that's not who I am, but it puts a fire under me that I recognize and hear you and understand that what I'm sharing is needed. And so I constantly am thankful for your comments when you say those things, because I know more people watch and don't leave comments, even though they may feel that way, they don't leave comments. And I want to let you know, for those who leave those comments, please thank you and continue to do so. Okay. Because it helps me. It gives me more fuel. All right. To put more passion into what it is that I'm sharing, to add more love, value, and really give you more. Okay. So keep letting me know that what I'm sharing with you works. So now getting back to this whole idea of YouTube, if you are considering starting a YouTube channel, if you are considering sharing content that is intentionally made to make a difference in people's lives and in exchange, make a difference in your life, meaning you make an income from it, you make a business from it, you are allowed to commit yourself wholeheartedly, 100% to that thing, that message, right? Because now you don't have to work a job, right? What I want you to understand is these algorithms, okay? You cannot let the algorithms dictate what it is that you're meant to do. And that is something that I am constantly having a conversation with myself about, that my purpose is bigger than the algorithm. My purpose, my desire to help and support you is way bigger than YouTube. I appreciate YouTube and I love YouTube. I am probably one of YouTube's biggest fans. I use it all the time. I'm constantly listening to videos on YouTube all throughout the day. But I have to admit that sometimes YouTube doesn't send me the content that I know fits me. You see, for example, if you pay attention to me and my content, you will notice that I am not really into negative spirituality or conspiracy theories, right? Or any kind of negativity or trying to manipulate people's emotions with fear mongering and saying that, oh, I have the answer, or, they don't want you to know this, right? Those things do not resonate with me. And it's sometimes hard for me to realize or see that the algorithm pushes those things out, because naturally people gravitate to those things. People tend to gravitate toward the negativity, even if they are spiritual. And so it is not my nature, though, to use that as clickbait or a means to, get people's attention to come click on my video, watch it, and then I use, persuasion techniques and manipulation to kind of get them to see the message that I want to share. I'm very straightforward, and I'm not very into the whole playing the mind games with people. And so for me, I'm just a straight shooter. Okay. If you want a video on this, this is what it is. If I say in the thumbnail or in the title what the video is about, that's basically what you're going to get. Right. And I find that it's very interesting when people tend to blow up. And you know what? It's really not a problem for me. It's not a place of envy or jealousy. I'm always impressed, and I'm always happy by the person's growth when they come on YouTube. You know, many times when I find people who teach spirituality or people who I'm intrigued by, whether it be spirituality or some other topic, the first thing I usually do, if I like the video, I'll watch the video all the way through. And then I'll go to their channel and then I hit videos and I'll look at when was the first video they put up, because that's just a habit that I've developed as a student of YouTube. And I'll look at their first video and it tells me basically when they started their channel and when they decided to be, committed to putting consistently on YouTube. And sometimes I see these people blowing up. They started their channel a year ago, a couple of months ago, and their one video just got thousands and thousands. And I'm like, wow. And so a lot of times I'm looking at it and I'm studying like, okay, what are they doing different? What is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? What is the energy that they're putting out that I'm not putting out? Now, it's not authenticity because I'm my most authentic self when I'm sharing with you, but it bears the question, right? And then I get to a point where I stop questioning and I just simply start recognizing that though those metrics are very popular amongst YouTubers, very popular amongst social media, it does not determine the value that you are putting out. So if you're starting a YouTube channel, if you are considering sharing content about things that you feel like will make a difference in people's lives, do not ever let algorithms, views, right, determine whether or not your stuff is valuable. Yes, there is room for evolution, change. If you look at my first video versus this video, the quality has changed slightly because I have slightly altered and decided to kind of play around with different things that allows me to feel more comfortable, but also at ease. Like I'm not big on a big production as far as setting up my videos. I do my videos almost every day. So it has to be something that I can just put my phone on, press record, hit the mic and go, you see? And that's what works. Now, some people may say, well, maybe it's not working because I'm not getting all these views. But what is working is me putting out my message, me letting you know that you are supported, that I want you to recognize who you truly are as a divine being, and that I want you to absolutely align with your future self that you desire to be. That's my message. My message isn't to be, right, YouTube's top spiritual guru teacher with the most views. You see? So you have to be clear, what is your first intention with anything? Okay? Make sure that whatever your intention is, that it is geared toward your personal fulfillment more than anything else. Okay? I know money is important. Money can be an indicator of personal fulfillment, but truly we know money does not buy happiness. But what will create happiness is you sharing, you creating, you actually putting things out to support people, right? You being your most authentic self. And so though YouTube may think that my channel sucks because it's not pushing the channel out there, that's not what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with the people who are watching, right? Who are leaving comments, especially those people I love. I want you to get the most out of it, right? If I am promoting a book, I am promoting that book, not so much because I want to make money from the book. It is because I absolutely feel like it is valuable for you. And it is something that I cannot share in a video, right? My future self journal is something that I cannot share with you in a video because it is a guided journal. It is something that you do to allow you to come to your own revelations and understandings about self. You see? So when I reference and talk about my books, right, the Future Self Frequency, my Future Self Journal, recognize that I am sharing and promoting it because I know it will make an impact and really help and support you. But I will continue to still make these videos because I know that it is being consistent It is constantly hearing things over and over and over again that is going to make a shift within you and within me and within the entire world. So again, it's not about YouTube. It's not about Instagram. It's not about TikTok. It's not about any algorithm. The only algorithm you should be concerned about is the algorithm of your own fulfillment. Are you putting up things that really matter to you? Okay. Just because it doesn't matter to the entire, majority of the population, who gives a damn? You see, you have to recognize that there only may be a few people that will be highly impacted by your stuff. And that's okay. So move forward in your life, figure out what resonates with you the most, share that, play with it, play with different ways of filming it, shooting it, sharing it. But do not ever feel like whatever you're sharing in itself, the core of it, has no value, that you need to totally pivot into a whole new topic that you have no love and passion for. Be yourself. That is what your future self wants for you, because that is how you become your future self. So continue to follow that path. Do not let this arbitrary machine, right, system dictate your spiritual journey and your happiness and fulfillment. I'm not concerned with it. Sometimes, my ego speaks to me about it. Sometimes my ego is bothered, but is it going to stop me? It definitely won't. If anything, it puts more of a fire under my butt to continue to put out more content, to continue to share. When we look at many spiritual teachers, right? Neville Goddard, what's my man, Brother Blair, another guy that I watched a couple of times, Freeman, Brother L. Freeman. There's a lot of spiritual teachers out there. Joseph Campbell, I already mentioned Neville Goddard, Wayne Dyer, which has a lot of film about him. But there are a lot of teachers, Florence Shen, whom weren't the most popular during their time, okay? Weren't the most, quote unquote, successful. But throughout the course of time, right, because they were ahead of their time, they were a representation of their future self and the future of society and the collective, they were putting out content that their time was not ready for. And over the course of time, their message has grown and has been received and accepted by the current collective, the current population. And so when you have to think about is recognizing that your wisdom, your knowledge, your insight may be ahead of its time. Okay. Also, what you want to think about is, for me, a big indicator for me is when I share, I'm sharing with my children. I'm sharing with my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and my whole entire lineage to come. They can always look back on these videos. They can always read my books, you see? So I will always be with them. People who hear about me, who maybe met me, people such as you who watch this video, may mention something that I shared with somebody else, with your child, with your grandchild, and they may pick up a book, that may change them in a positive way. So I have to remember that, just like when I share with you about the idea of time, it's not linear. Time is something that is expansive and it is more circular, right? It expands out in different directions. So I cannot just be stuck on what quote unquote success is supposed to look like, right? With all the views and all the money and the book sales and all that stuff. It's like, okay, all right, I get a little bit here and there. I got some monetization on my channel, I make a couple of dollars from my books here and there, and that's exciting because if I can make $1, then I can make $1 million, right? It's just figuring out the process by which to do so. It's about aligning with that version of myself. You see? So what it is that I'm sharing with you is not something that I am, above. It is something that I practice as well. It is something that is a part of my journey as well. So I'm with you on this journey. Trust me when I say I'm just at a point where I'm able to download and channel the wisdom, right, from higher consciousness through my mind onto a book and through this video and share with you. But long story short, share yourself, right? Do not be concerned about if people like it or not. You may have to, just continue to play around, change the format, change the style, but do not get obsessed with it to the point where you change your message. Do never, never, never get obsessed to the point where you change you. Because then you're changing the most important element, the most important aspect of what it is that you're sharing. All right. So I'm going to end there. I will love you. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about my channel. Let me know. What do you even think? Should I change some things? Are there some things you've seen in my channel that you wish that I would bring back? Are there some things that you don't like about my current channel? Maybe the format of how I share information. Are there things you'd rather me talk about more than other things? Let me know. I ask for your support and helping me because I'm open to the idea of maybe there's some things that I'm missing. I want to be a good teacher. And so I have to ask the people that I'm sharing with, what is the best way for you to be taught? What is the best way for you to learn? And I'm up for it. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, feel free, go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and you'll get the first chapter of the Future Self Frequency. This is the deluxe transformation edition. Okay. This is a special edition. The first chapter is absolutely free when you go to drabundant.com. Now, if you want to just buy the book or buy the My Future Self Frequency journal, then you can go to thefutureselffrequency.com, and both of those books will be available and sold and shipped to you directly. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you always. All right. Peace and abundance.